as we start to look at policies, go through policies, and try to make sure that we're operating the best way we can for Poto Public Schools. Continue to bless our schools, Lord, be with our military. Just continue to bless this nation. In your son's name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Roll call, please.
George?
Here.
McGehee?
Here.
Joe?
Here.
Yocum?
Here.
Adams?
Here. All right. Thanks to everyone for coming. We appreciate y'all being here this evening. Do we have any comments from the public?
Nope.
All right. Consent agenda. I entertain a motion to approve our minutes from the regular board meeting of June 12th and the special board meeting of June 29th.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right. Roll call, please.
McGehee?
Yes.
Joe?
Here.
Yocum?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
George?
Yes.
All right. Financial reports and encumbrances.
Tonight, I'm going to be presenting from the fund summary statement. It is the top sheet and lists all of the funds and their beginning balances, revenues, expenditures, and their ending balance. So for the general fund, for the fiscal year 22-23, we had a beginning balance of $2,010,782. Our total revenues were $21,009,989. Our total cash available was $23,020,771. The expenditures for the year were $20,443,718. Our ending balance was $2,577,053. We do have some adjustments as we have some encumbrances, some pending payables that will go out in the next few months that will decrease what's available by $151,318. But we were able to close out the prior year any warrants outstanding that are now considered void and adding back in $74,050. We also have a bank account used for our taxes, the $1 balance. Ending fund balance for the general fund is $2,499,786. This is an increase from our prior year fund balance of $474,383. For our general fund, the last 6 years, we looked 6 years ago, and there was a $2.7 million carryover, but we are now in our third year of growth, and we anticipate to continue to see a growth and try to resolve any of the deficits that we saw in the past. And with the recent passages by the legislature with some additional funding coming into us, we don't see a problem as long as we adhere to our budgeting and our due diligence. Our building fund for this year had a beginning balance of $713,092. Total revenues were $2,157,236 with cash available of $2,870,327. The total expenditures were $1,638,097. Ending balance of $1,232,230. There were no adjustments to the building fund needed, and we did have an increase in the building fund as well of $519,098. In June, we did receive a little over $350,000 in state funds, and that will help us to continue in consideration for improving our facilities this year, and we will even receive more state funding this year. And so through our capital improvements plan, we are excited to see some improvements and growth for our district.
And those funds are Redbud funds. So if you hear us talking about Redbud, that was a special little bit that we've got the last couple of years.
So in our child nutrition fund, we had a beginning balance of $673,986. The total revenues collected is $1,207,570. Total expenditures, $1,080,261. Ending balance, $801,295. We do have adjustments as we have some pending payables. We are getting some awnings built for our freezers, and so $48,596 must be held to pay that, but we were able to close out some prior year warrants as well of 13,610, leaving an ending balance of $766,309. This fund also showed some growth from the prior year of $90,127. The first week of July I did get with Cindy, and our student account balance from the prior year stands at $15,672.91. There has been a small amount of collection this summer, but next year the goal is prevention through what we've learned. This was a different year for our child nutrition and having the paid lunches, and Cindy's been working and talking with our principals and different people to get some communication and be preventative and proactive this coming year, and I anticipate this to definitely be a better situation. So our bond fund in the beginning of the year had $557,814. The revenues for this fund is $1,792,431 and expenditures of $1,811,948 with an ending balance of $538,298. We do have pending payables of $991. So our fund balance is $537,308, and we did have a reduction of $20,506 for the bond fund. Now, we're reviewing the bond project list, and we're going to have a plan of action to be put in place along with our capital projects committee, and we're going to just continue to look at and consider what's been completed, what remains incomplete, and what actions need to be taken to make sure we fulfill those project promises. Now, our sinking fund is simply utilized to collect the funds to pay on the bonds. So the sinking fund balance beginning $867,548. Total revenues that are collected through our ad valorem are $877,677, and then our expenditures $836,038, with the ending balance of $909,188 with no adjustments in the final fund balance. There was a slight increase of $41,639. That's partially because of the increase in the ad valorem and some of the interest from the bank. And the insurance recovery fund, we have a beginning balance of $254,837. We had some collections to our insurance of $96,138. That was for the year due to the microburst last summer, and then also the theater where we had the pipes that were freezing, that froze. And we had expenditures of $247,518 with an ending balance of $103,457. We have some pending payables of $1,325, and that must be earmarked and held, but $53 were able to be added back with a final fund balance of $102,186. As we continue to look at what items need to be addressed from the microburst and with the theater, our goal is in completion in 24 to get those projects taken care of. Are there any questions? Okay. We'll now reference our encumbrances. The general fund, the activity fund. For June, it did have a beginning balance of $621,823.05, receipts of $30,499.20, and payments of $28,176.43. The ending balance for all the activity funds is $624,145.82, and all the appropriate funds will be rolled over into the new school year, effective July 1st. And so the encumbrances are, in going through here, there was not anything that was unusual or outstanding. These are regularly ongoing expenditures that the school anticipates that we need to earmark and hold as these expenditures come up on a regularly occurring basis. And then on the building fund, we have a payment on the scoreboard, and then a regularly scheduled safety test on our elevators. Our cafeteria is normal and ongoing yearly expenditures, and we've earmarked $135,897.62. And then we have got Michael Riley working to look at our parking lot to get that, I believe, just see what we can do and what the costs are going to be, and have him oversee that for us. And that is part of the ball completion projects that is still outstanding to be done.
Which parking lot?
This one, yeah, between here and the gym.
To resurface, or?
And then we have a payment due from our sinking fund to pay a bond. And then in our insurance recovery, we've also reached out to Michael Riley to employ him to help us assess the situation there, so we can see what we can do to get that back up and running.
Does anyone have any questions, concerns, comments? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve the financial reports and encumbrances.
Make a motion we approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Joe?
Yes.
Yocum?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
George?
Yes.
McGee?
Yes.
Discussion and vote to approve or not approve the price quotes for paper for Poto Public Schools.
Yeah, and so I'm going to pass both these over to Mr. Cochran. He's the one that goes through and does the bid process and knows the process and why we chose who we chose. So if you could go through item 6, and then when we get to 7, it'll be you as well.
Sure. So the first one is paper. So this is basically our copy paper for the school year. And we had 4 vendors submit bids for that. The lowest bid being Staples at $35.49 a case, which a case is 10 reams of paper. So actually, it was about an 8% increase in price from the previous year. But our spend is actually down about $3,000 just because of volume. So we bid out 320 cases this year versus 440 last year. So a lot of that has to do with more stuff being online and using Chromebooks and that kind of thing. So probably see that continue, I would expect, a little bit. So our spend was actually about 3,000 less, even though the price per case was up a little bit. Any questions?
I'd entertain a motion to approve the recommendation of Staples.
I'll move, so move.
Second.
All right, roll call, please.
Yocum?
Yes.
Adams?
Yes.
George?
Yes.
McGee?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Discussion and vote to approve or not approve the price quotes for diesel for the 23-24 school year.
So for diesel, we had 2 vendors submit bids. The lowest price, and this is a little bit different because you go with a rack price, which can change daily, and then their margin, basically what their profit is for that. So Petroleum Traders was the lowest bidder as far as margin goes. So at just under 8 cents per gallon on that. That's up a little bit on the margin. Last year, they were a little bit over 5 cents per gallon. But last year to this year, the rack price is about 45% lower than this time last year. It was $4.30 something last year, $4.37. And this year, currently the rack price at the time of the bid was $2.41. So our just going from 20,000 gallons each year. Last year our spend was 88,000 plus. This year it should be, depends again if prices go up again, but it should be around 50,000. So we should see a pretty substantial savings just in the fuel cost for buses.
Does anyone have any questions or comments? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve the recommended bid for Petroleum Traders.
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, roll call, please. Adams? Yes. George?
Yes.
McGee?
Yes.
Job?
Yes.
Yocum?
Yes.
All right, discussion and vote to approve or not approve the memorandum of understanding with Oklahoma State University to host a pre-intern student in the fall of 2023.
So we did not have an intern last year, and we don't have one right now on schedule for this coming 24 fiscal year. However, getting this approved gives us the option if they have one that wants to come over to Poto, that we can bring them in. Obviously, from our end, we want student interns, get those young ones in, figure out which ones are good, and if they're good, we try to snag them. So we certainly want to encourage as much of that as possible.
Anyone have any questions with regards to that? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve that memorandum of understanding.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second his motion.
All right, roll call, please. George?
Yes.
McGee?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Yocum?
Yes.
Adam? Yes. Discussion and vote to approve or not approve a representative for the Capital Improvement Committee from the Board of Education.
So, looking forward to a capital improvement committee. I think it'll be huge for us. We've got a lot of facility items that I want to get on top of and start working towards, but we really need to get all of them down, get some priority list in place. So, with that said, we do have a scheduled meeting tomorrow at 9, but we can change that if whoever you guys vote in as the representative can't make that meeting. We'll change it if we have to. But glad to have you guys on board and have one of you representing that committee. I think it'll be big.
I don't know what everyone's interest is. If no one else is interested, I would be, if y'all are okay with that, or if someone else is feels strongly about it, I'd be glad to discuss that too.
And we'll have other committees throughout the year too that we come and ask you guys for representation on.
You ready for motion?
Sure.
I'll move that the president serve on that committee. I'll second
All right, roll call, please. McGee?
it. Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Yocum?
Yes.
Adam? Yes. George?
Yes.
All right, discussion of vote to approve or not approve the authorization of purchasing agent for Poto Public School programs for school year 23-24.
So we have already done this once. However, we did leave Ms. Barnes off, and she needs to be on there. So all we're doing is coming back and adding her to what's already approved. Ms. Tiller and myself are both approved already.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right, roll call, please. Joe?
Yes.
Yocum?
Yes.
Adams? Yes. George?
Yes.
McGee? Discussion and vote to approve and/or sanction or not approve and/or sanction booster clubs for the 2023-2024 school year.
Yeah, a yearly item, we have to have sanctioning. So this is for all of the clubs that are not under the umbrella of Poto Public Schools. So if they operate on the outside of Poto Public Schools, they have to be sanctioned by you guys.
Anyone have any questions with regards to any of these organizations?
How many clubs do we have?
Well, there's a bunch. Yeah, there's a bunch here. We do have a lot operating. Does anybody know the number offhand?
I didn't count it.
Yeah, there's a lot.
A bunch, okay.
That's unofficial numbers, but a bunch.
A bunch.
Unofficial for sure.
And we do have one that we're still waiting on that will hit next month, hopefully.
No one has any,
Did these funds funnel through the school at all?
So this is why we're getting sanctioned. Great question. So if we have people inside of our school and they operate inside of our activity account, the money flows through our school. If they operate on the outside, the money doesn't flow through our school. So these do not flow through our school at all, hence us having a financial report from them yearly, et cetera.
any other questions? Entertain a motion to approve or not approve
Make the motion. Approve.
For all?
All of them, yeah.
All right. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Yocum,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
George,
Yes.
McGee,
Yes.
Job,
Yes.
Discussion and vote to approve or not approve the activity fundraisers for the 23-24 school year.
So this is most of your packet. There are 241 fundraisers that we brought to you tonight. So, and I am sure we will have more coming past this. So, much like the sanctioning and this and other items that you guys get early, a lot of this, I haven't had time to go through all of this. This year, I'm really looking forward to going through the process and understanding why we do some of the things we do. And if we need to fix things, we can. But this is what we've been doing in the past, so this is not abnormal. But 241 seems like a whole lot of fundraisers.
Sounds like you go to your community a lot of times.
I would agree, hence me wanting to dig into this more as we go through the year. And I'm sure we're stepping on top of each other too with fundraisers, as many as there are. And so, once again, I think as we go through the year, I think I'll have an opportunity to figure out why we're doing what we're doing. And hopefully have something different next year, or at least an understanding more next year as to why we're doing it like we're doing it.
Are any of these new, or are they pretty much from last year?
I did talk with Risa. Risa's the one that sends these out and brings them back. And she did have a couple of new ones. And from our end, I told her pretty much the same thing I just told you guys. We've got to have it because it shows up and they're on the agenda and they're all already done. So I think next year we've got to have a little different process on some of this. So there's a lot in here, to be honest. I mean, a lot. And granted, some of these we might not end up doing. These are all the ones that they want to do. So some of these, you might have 2 or 3 in knowing that you're going to do one. So I'm hoping some of it is that. I did ask Risa if 241 was a record. She didn't know. So we'll keep track moving forward.
I didn't have the idea. I mean, we don't know enough to not approve them, in my opinion.
I agree,
I mean,
and
Who you not gonna approve and approve somebody else?
I agree. And with that, if you come next year, I promise you a lot of this stuff will be looking differently just because I've had an opportunity to be in for a year and understand why we're doing what we're doing.
I agree with you.
Yeah. That doesn't mean we won't have 240 next year. We might, but at least I'll be able to tell you why we got 240.
Half the book.
You have any more time to look through them, or? Not, I'd entertain a motion, if anyone's ready.
I'll move, we approve them.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Adams,
Yes?
George,
Yes.
McGee,
Yes.
Job,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Discussion and vote to approve or not approve out-of-state activity trips for PHS football and 7th, 8th grade football.
Yeah, so these are both events that we've done in the past. Rogers, Arkansas is a 3-way scrimmage, so looking forward to that. And then our JV is going to 7th and 8th grade, Van Buren, Arkansas. So I talked to Coach Warner on these, and he said these are ones that we've done in the past, and they'll be really beneficial for us.
I move we approve.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Roll call, please.
George,
Yes.
McGee,
Yes.
Job,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes. Discussion of vote to approve or not approve addendums to the extra duty compensation schedule for 23-24.
So this is a yearly item as well. We did add 2 items to this, so I wanted to bring you guys' attention to these. One is the Dean of Students piece. We have Dean of Students this year at the high school, going to be a part-time, not a full-time dean, but will be part-time over there. We didn't have a stipend in place. So we had put in there a $5,000 stipend, and that's if you're in that role the whole day. So it's an hourly percentage. So if you're there 4/7 of the day, it'll be 4/7 of $5,000. So that's the stipend that we're going to put in place, we're recommending to put in place for Dean of Students. And then there's a mentor stipend on there as well. We ask our teachers to be mentors to the brand new teachers that we have in our district. You guys know that there's a teacher shortage. We're getting less experienced new teachers than we did in the past. In the old days, they'd go through college, they would take all the classes, they'd do all that, they'd step in, and they still needed a mentor. Well, now, we're bringing people in through emergency certifications that have never even been in a classroom management class, don't know what classroom management is. So having a strong mentor program in place for Poto Public Schools is really going to benefit the quality of education. So we've got a mentor packet that we're going to be working through our administration team. She'll have a monthly checklist. It'll have a pretty good amount of items that we really want to make sure we're touching with each one of our new teachers. And with that, we're hoping to pay them, because the mentors are putting in a large amount of work to our brand new teachers. So we're asking for a $500 stipend. That's one of the new items on there as well. Those are the only 2 changes from last year.
I think that's a great idea. I would entertain a motion with regards to our extra duty compensation schedule for 23-24. Unless anyone has any other questions or comments regarding the same.
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, roll call, please.
McGee,
Yes.
Joe,
Yeah.
Yocum,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
George.
Yes.
Discussion and vote to approve or not approve board policies and site handbooks.
So once approved, our handbooks will be board policies. So as you guys got a chance to look through them, I tried to get them to you earlier so you would have time to get through them. You are approving board policies tonight through the handbooks. Our principals did a great job. We had asked them to go through probably more than they've done in the past on the handbooks, and they did a great job. Not a single one was, upset. In fact, I think they all enjoyed kind of getting a chance to go through and start anew with handbooks and get them all the way they wanted them. There was an adjustment on the handbooks that we gave you. The PKMS had Mr. Yocum and Mr. McGehee swapped. Mr. McGehee needed to be our vice president, and Mr. Yocum needed to be a member. So even though that's not indicated on the handbooks that you have, that would be a change that, as you approve tonight, we need to approve that change as well.
And I think the clerk as well.
If the clerk was off, I didn't realize that one. Was the clerk off, Bobby, as well? Did you? Okay. Yes, if any of those are off, we want to get them approved and fix them.
Okay.
So when you make the motion, if you could, just mention the changes on the board positions for PKMS handbook.
I think we all had an opportunity to review those this past week. Does anyone have any questions or comments based on their review? And I would entertain a motion to approve with those changes.
I'll move with approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Joe,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
George,
Yes.
McGee.
Yes.
Board to consider and take action on a motion approving the renewal of the sublease agreement dated April 1, 2019 between the district and LaFleur County Public Facilities Authority for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2024, as required under the provisions of the agreement.
Yeah. So this is our financial agreement contract with Stephen H. McDonald and Associates. This is the agreement that was put in place in 2019 when we passed the last bond. So as I went through, I looked at the numbers. It's a good contract, and I think if we continue to update all of it, the updated numbers would not be the same as they were in 2019. So I think it's really good, and we just continue with the document as stated.
entertain a motion, unless anyone has any questions or comments regarding this agenda item.
I'll make a motion, we approve it.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, roll call, please.
Yocum,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
George,
Yes.
McGee,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Is there any new business?
No.
Superintendent's report.
Yeah, so really short for me on superintendent's report this month. Bottom line is we're getting ready for the new school year, excited about the new year. I'll be sending out a welcome letter along with information to our employees here in the next couple of weeks. So we've got a lot of different committee meetings coming up, so it'll be a busy time from here to the end of the year, but certainly excited about it. On the facility updates, we are going to change up our process just a little bit. I'll have Mr. Cochran a spot just before my report where he talks about facilities, because I really do feel like facilities needs to be something we talk about moving forward every month. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over and let him talk about facilities, because that's the one item we have on superintendent's report tonight.
Sure, so a couple of things, facility-wise, that we've just finished up, the installation of the new basketball court. I don't know if you've had a chance to take a look at that, but it looks really good. The main difference being, we went with a gray stain inside the three-point arc. It really makes things stand out a lot better than just lines. So that's turned out well. Also, as far as the parking spot for the fire truck during football games, that's been, a work order's been turned into OG&E. Obviously, they've had some power issues lately, so we're gonna relocate a couple of poles over there, and install a couple of lights out here by the Fine Arts Building, and behind the gym. So we won't have to pay for new poles or anything, they'll just relocate those and install a couple of lights for us. So, those poles have been marked, the, new locations have been marked, it's just a matter of them getting to relocate those poles. That'll be taken care of.
So they're gonna have it where they want it?
I'm assuming that's what we agreed to, whether
Okay.
that's exactly where they want it, I
Yeah,
don't know,
okay.
but it's very close to where they were.
Yeah,
So-
okay, good.
As far as the movie theater, like we mentioned before, we've had a PO with Michael Riley to prepare bid documents to send that out for bid to repair that. We were waiting a little bit until Mr. Kipnick got on board to make sure there wasn't any major changes that we wanted to do there, and we've talked through that, so we'll basically update it a little bit with some colors and things, but we'll pretty much put it back like it was. So, and then not necessarily facilities, but the electric bus, we've gotten an estimated delivery of mid to late September right now on that. We're also waiting right now on the charger. I know the contractor's already been paid. He's been paid through Bluebird because they submitted the application on our behalf. So actually the EPA pays Bluebird instead of paying us. So anyway, I know that's been done, just waiting on the equipment to be shipped. So things are moving along there as well. That's all I've got.
You guys have any specific questions, something that wasn't on there that you wanted to ask?
With regards to the movie theater, it is my understanding y'all explored what other uses it could be put to, but just the way that it's
Yeah, the way it's
designed,
built.
there's not really any feasible other options, correct?
There would be a lot of work because of the slants to the, with the seating and everything.
And they're all different,
Mhm.
like in each room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
But we did get some use out of it this past year, and we're hoping that with
once we
being
get
able to
it
do
put
this.
back in place and get everything inspected, make sure everything's up to snuff, we'll be good.
All right.
Did you get the gas fixed over it?
Yes, sir. We inserted a new line inside the old line, so it should be good.
I would, if there's not anything else on the superintendent's report, I would entertain a motion to go into executive session.
I make a motion.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Adams,
Yes.
George,
Yes.
McGee,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
All right. We are going into executive session at 6:35. I don't.
He's just good.
Oh, yeah.
I've lived there all these years.
Right. All right. So the board met in executive session to discuss personnel items and the purchase of land or real property as authorized by Title 25 Oklahoma Statute, Section 307, B1 and B3. And no other matters were discussed in pursuant to the Oklahoma Open Meeting Act. Those present were board members, superintendent, and Devin Cochran. The board did not take any official votes or actions in executive session and returned to open session at 6:57 p.m. I would entertain a motion, or I guess our next item is vote to approve the resignations of employees and any resignations submitted since the posting of the agenda.
And we did have Kim Allison that would be approving.
I make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
George,
Yes.
McGee,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes. Vote to approve the employment of the following: Kathleen Midgley. Is she here? Welcome. Well, maybe. Is there a motion to approve her? Quickly, please.
Face red.
She's like, somebody make a motion, please.
I move.
All right.
I'll second your motion.
Thank you. All right. Roll call, please.
McGee,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
George.
Yes.
Welcome.
Now you're welcome.
All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All right. Roll call, please.
Joe, Yocum,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
George,
Yes.
McGee.